So you want to know the real reason why people struggle killing German cockroaches? It's because the females. They're hiding. They're really good moms. You know, the male cockroaches, they'll come up and be like, "Hey Andy, let's go out and get something to eat and hit up the Roach Motel later." And the female is like, "No, Stan, I'm having all these babies. I gotta stay inside." And so that's what they do is they just hide out and they hang out until they're having their babies and stuff like that. And they carry their little egg sac babies, their little capsule. It's called an ootheca, and it holds about 30 to 50 little cockroach eggs. And they carry it until it's just about to hatch, and they drop it like the day before, and then all their little baby cockroaches hatch. And so that's why it's so hard for people to kill cockroaches, because they're not reaching them. They might spray around, and they're not going to get them, because you get Stan and be like, "Come on, Eddie, let's just go out, get some trash." And they're like, "No, I heard those humans are doing a raid later." And so you could be spraying around a little bug spray, and you're never going to touch it, because those females, they'll be hanging out somewhere, and you can't find them, and so they'll be hidden somewhere, and they'll never get touched by the bug spray. Even if they do, they could go ahead and drop their little egg sac off somewhere, their little egg holder, and then they'll die. But their eggs will hatch, and they'll carry on, and they'll grow. And then by that time, if you're spraying bug spray around or something like that, you probably miss all those bugs, and they'll just keep reproducing. So that's why you got to go about it a couple different ways. You can spray some bug spray if you see a bug, or you can just hold off on that altogether and get you some kind of a bait. You just put a little dot here and there, some roach bait, and do that. Don't ever spray your bait. You want to leave that where it's at. Get you some monitoring traps. These aren't really to catch the bugs to cut down the population. it will, just a couple of them, but these are really just to kind of monitor, to see how many are walking through the traps. You could start off with getting a lot of bugs in there, then later on you might only get a few, and then once you're got a really good handle on your problem, you'll have none. You'll have no bugs in the trap because you won't have any bugs. And the only way you'll get bugs back in your house, they'll be all gone. Your German cockroaches, the only way you'll get them back is if you carry them back into your house or someone brings them in. And so you can get your little orthoboric acid. You just head over to the Walmart, and it might look a little different in this bottle, but it's just orthoboric acid. It's the roach powder. And you want to get your little one of these things. You can order them on Amazon or something like that. This little puffer. And you just hold these things upside down. You kind of shake them around a little bit, and you just give a little puff. And you want to apply this stuff places you're not really going to come in contact with. That would be kind of in one place. You can put them in between cracks and stuff, in between your appliances, and little voids, and there's places you're not really going to disturb this dust. You put it around the base of your refrigerator, and you just kind of want the bugs to walk through this stuff. It's real simple. You can get you some different kinds of dust. It affects the bugs differently. So this right here is I think it's a neurotoxin for the bugs, and this right here is more of an orthoboric acid. It's more like a stomach poison, and also severely damages their exoskeleton. So when you walk through it, they'll get all in their joints and make their legs fall off. And that's pretty much it. It's real simple stuff, but if you're never, if you don't stay on top of it regular, and kind of keep track of, monitor your situation, and maybe occasionally, you can spray some bug spray later on, in places that you haven't before, and maybe you might be able to flush some bugs out or something like that, and then just continue placing baits around. Just monitor, see if they're eating the baits, and stuff like that. That's all there is to it. And pretty soon you have no German cockroaches. That's the secret. It was the female's fault the whole time. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day.